We'll call the regular meeting of the Upshur County Commission to order. We'll begin with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time we'll have the reading of the minutes of special meeting April 23rd and May the 2nd.
The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia held a special meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Tuesday, April 23, 2013 at 9 a.m. Donnie Tenney called the meeting to order. There were present Donnie Tenney, Commissioner, Troy Brady, Commissioner, William Parker, Commissioner, and William Parker, Upshur County Administrator, Megan Pomeroy, Assistant Administrator, Timothy Stranko, Attorney. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss discrimination allegations. On motion by J.C. Rafferty, second by Troy Brady, the Commission entered executive session at 9 a.m. per West Virginia Code 6-9A-4. Present were Donnie Tenney, J.C. Rafferty, and Troy Brady, William Parker, Sheriff David Kaufman, and Timothy Stranko, Attorney. William Parker and Sheriff Kaufman entered the meeting intermittently and were not present for the entire meeting. The Commission returned to open session at 10:15 a.m. No decisions were made in executive session. With no further business, on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by Donnie Tenney, the Commission meeting adjourned at 10:15 a.m.
Any corrections or additions to the minutes as read? If not, do we have a motion to approve as such?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, May the 2nd.
The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia held their regular meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Thursday, May 2, 2013 at 9 a.m. Donnie Tenney called the meeting to order. There were present Donnie Tenney, Commissioner, J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, Troy Brady, Commissioner, Megan Pomeroy, Assistant County Administrator, and Jacqueline Dinkblocker, Secretary. The meeting began with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All motions passed unanimously unless otherwise stated. After reading of the minutes on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commissioner approved the regular meeting minutes of April 25, 2013 as submitted. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved a request from the Upshur County Republican Executive Committee, Central West Virginia Republican Women, to use the area in front of the Courthouse Annex from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Thursday, June 20, 2013, for a West Virginia Day 150th birthday celebration. The group plans to serve birthday cake, cookies, coffee, and soft drinks with singing and speakers to commemorate the occasion. Donnie Tenney requested Megan Pomeroy to follow up with maintenance to provide tables and chairs. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved and authorized the President to sign the West Virginia Development Office Community Participation Grant Program application and all related documents for project number 13, LEDA 0714, in the amount of $4,000 for the benefit of the Ellamore Volunteer Fire Department to purchase radio equipment. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved Miranda Noel Lansicombe and Victoria Ann Giffen as volunteers for the Lewis Upshur Animal Control Facility. The Commission reviewed the following for your information items. Number 1, correspondence from West Virginia Division of Culture and History Sesquicentennial Parade application. Interested representatives of Upshur County for parade. Number 2, correspondence from Bonnie L. Beavers, Division of Justice and Community Services regarding receipt of Justice Assistance Grant Program application for $28,000. Number 3, Upshur County Road Name Index, April 2013. Number 4, correspondence from Dennis and Deanne Berry regarding Small Cities Block Grant Phase 3 water line extension with Elkins Road Public Service District. Donnie Tenney requested Megan Pomeroy to send a copy of the correspondence to Region 7 Planning and Development Council. Meeting minutes and financial reports as listed. Number 6, meetings as listed. Number 7, appointments needed or upcoming as listed. Joe Malcolm, county resident, expressed concerns about emergency responders and others being able to locate addresses due to the implementation of the new addressing. Mr. Malcolm noted that GPS devices may not display the new road names. Terry Jo Bennett, addressing the mapping coordinator, responded to questions and stressed the importance of proper display of addresses. The commission recessed at 9:45 a.m. The commission reconvened at 10 a.m. Michael Miller, Upshur County Animal Control Officer, appeared before the commission and provided a review and update on the issue of an aggressive/vicious dog, as discussed at the April 25 commission meeting. Dwayne Lipscomb, owner of the dog, appeared to discuss options. Mr. Lipscomb stated that he intends to comply with the vicious dog license requirements. However, he objected not being able to walk the dog on a leash off of his property. Mr. Lipscomb advised that he has installed an invisible fence to keep the dog contained in his yard and feels that both he and his wife can control the animal when on a leash. Donnie Tenney advised that the order would be amended to allow Mr. Lipscomb and/or Mrs. Lipscomb to walk the dog on public sidewalks and/or roadways, but must be secured with a strong leash and must not be allowed to bark at or lunge at residents. Further action could follow if neighborhood residents still feel threatened. The commission approved all invoices for payment. The commission approved all vacation orders. The commission approved the following settlements as listed. The commission approved the following exonerations and/or refunds as listed. The commission approved the following requests for time out of office for commission employees as listed. The commission recessed at 11 a.m. The commission reconvened at 1 p.m. On motion by J.C. Rafferty, second by Troy Brady, the commission entered executive session per West Virginia Code 6-9A-4 to review discrimination allegations. Present were Donnie Tenney, J.C. Rafferty, Troy Brady, Megan Pomeroy, and Timothy Stranko, attorney, and Shannon Smith, attorney. The commission returned to open session at 2 p.m. No decisions were made in executive session. With no further business, on motion by J.C. Rafferty, second by Troy Brady, the commission meeting adjourned at 2 p.m.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as read? All, I'd ask for a motion to be approved as such.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, our first scheduled appointment's at 10 a.m. with Doug Pauley with Harbinger Developments. Request letter of support for federal housing tax credit.
Did you get that from me?
Did you come? Are they still planning on coming?
I believe so.
Okay.
I tried to contact them, didn't get a call back.
Pardon?
I did not receive a call back.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, we have some other items. Before we do, we have some folks here. Steve, did you all want to, was there something that you are here for that's not on the agenda?
It's on,
Number 5.
It is something, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you had something else.
they're here to support it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, item number 1, approve youth camp summer employees effective May the 28th, 2013. Christopher Hungerford, $7.35 per hour. Dylan McDaniel, $7.25 per hour. Jessa McDaniels, $7.25. Whitney Sayre, $7.80. Nicole Champion, $7.25. Bonnie Krause, $7.35. Rawson Freeman, $7.25. Roberta Huffman, $7.35, and Elsie Sayre at $7.65 per hour. And it's my understanding the difference in these pay rates is the number of years that they've worked there.
Correct.
Some
Some are
tenure.
returning, some are new.
Right. Okay, so do we have a motion to accept the recommendation of the hiring of these individuals at the stated rate of pay?
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay. And these are summer employees at the youth camp. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Next item is approve employment of Michael Gitson as Upshur County Pool Manager for the 2013 pool season. Hourly employee effective May the 5th, 2013, at $10 per hour. Salary, employee effective May the 19th, 2013, at $500 per week. Anything you'd like to say on this? Is just
He's had a lot of experience. I believe he was an assistant pool manager and a pool manager in the past at different pools. So I've had some conversations with him, and I think he'll do a fantastic job.
okay.
And that's consistent, I think, with the salary we've paid in the past.
Right. That's what we've paid. So do we have a motion to approve the hiring of this Michael?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next item is approved volunteer for Community Corrections Day Report Center, Ashley B. Ware. Assume that request comes from Micah.
It-
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the request for this volunteer?
Is she a college student, or what is her, do you know what her statement is?
I don't know that for sure. I think that
Typically
a lot
it
of
is,
their
yeah.
volunteers are from the college, but I don't know in this case.
I'll make that motion then.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next item is approved resignation of William A. Parker, County Administrator, effective May the 8th, 2013. Mr. Parker contacted me as President of the County Commission, stating his desire to resign for personal reason, and that he had made an appointment with the Retirement Board to file for retirement. I have a letter. It says, dated May the 8th, 2013. As per my discussion with Donnie Artini, President of Upshur County Commission, on Monday, May the 6th, 2013, I hereby submit this letter of resignation effective on the above date. Do we have a motion to approve the resignation?
I would make a motion that we defer action on this pending our 1 o'clock appointment with Mr. Stranko. Or we receive a report.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, consideration and approval of Emergitech Gate Page software purchase, provide support and software for text paging interface communications. You want to elaborate on that, Megan? Is that just,
This is what Steve Linker is here to, in support of. He believe, was it last week that you brought this, or
oh,
2
that's
weeks ago?
The 25th.
that's the texting for the,
Yes.
okay. Well, why don't you come up, Steve, and give us a report? You were going to check with the fire departments and make sure that was what they wanted, and
On the 25th of April, I'd come up to discuss many things, and one of them was a system that is used in some other counties to alert the fire departments and EMS and other agencies of calls that they have. And the solution that we found that we thought was the best would work through our Emergitech CAD system, and it's called a PageGate system. So at that time, I explained how Lewis County, that the fire department did not want that system, and they got one of their own. And at that time, you told me to go get support of all the different agencies and discuss this with them. And I did, and it was discussed at the Buchanan Fire Department meeting that they have. Joey Baxa discussed it with the County Firefighters Association, and then at the Chiefs meeting it was discussed. And I have a letter, and hopefully you have a copy of it there, of support of all fire departments in the county, as well as EMS,
okay.
for this system. I've seen it in operation, and I think it is the solution that we're looking for.
Right, we have the letter, and based on that approval from them and recommendation from you, I would, now, what was the cost on that? Was that the
$3,605, and then it takes $242 yearly maintenance fee.
Okay, then, based on that recommendation, I would ask for a motion that we approve this proposal.
So moved.
I'll second it, but I understand also this is a system that's currently being used in other counties.
Yes.
With success.
Yes.
All right.
Very good. I
Okay.
also concur.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Now, we have
Thanks,
another consider and approve request by Steve Linger, 911 Director, 25-cent raise for Cecilia Stewart based on emergency medical dispatch manager certification
supervisor position. We talked about this during budget time, and you might elaborate on just exactly what this training involves and what.
Okay, about a year ago, Cecilia Stewart was put in a supervisor in training program, and she has taken certain responsibilities and been taught certain areas of the management of the 911 center and supervision. And she also attended emergency medical dispatch course and the emergency medical dispatch manager course. And we felt at the time that when she took on this additional responsibility, that we would take her out of the supervisor in training and make her a supervisor with supervisor responsibilities.
Right.
And with this certification, it proves that she can now perform that. Emergency medical dispatch has to be up and running by July 1st. And I will need a lot of assistance in doing the supervising. We have to monitor 30% of all calls that come through. We monitor calls now, but theoretically that would be every EMS call, 30% of the total call volume that we have. So it would require many, many hours of additional work. And to be sure that every T is crossed and I is dotted with the forms that we have to submit.
Right.
Will you be working different shifts so that each of you can cover those calls, or how would that work?
Well, the monitoring happens in the back room later.
Okay.
After, we have voice recording of every call. And usually that's done later. We would probably work some day shifts alike, and because there are still many areas that she would need training in. But I think she will work some day shifts and some afternoon shifts.
Okay. Any other questions?
Just as a note, I spoke with our bookkeeper, and that pay raise would be effective May 5th, if you approve it.
May the 5th. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the request?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you all want to say anything, Mr.?
I just want to thank you for your support on the texting matter. I want to publicly thank you. We came here publicly requesting it, so I think that we can do thank you publicly for that. I think it'll be a big key. We're having a lot of problems, with dispatching, and it's just the society we're in now with security systems and computers. A lot of places pagers don't work, and sometimes they're disruptive. So I think this will be a big. I see a lot of other places using it. It's very successful. Just on behalf of all the fire departments, I want to thank you all for that.
Well, the safety of your staff, the different volunteers, and of course the possible victims of fire. Very important that we have a means to communicate.
I think with technology too, I think one of these days, so obviously pager that I carry one of these days, I'll be saying, I remember when I carried a pager. Some farmers don't look at me and say, what?
Yeah.
I think, just move technology, I think,
Right. And we need to use technology for the benefit of those that are serving the community. So I think this is a good step in that direction. So, okay, well, thank you all. Next item is approved request from Debbie Thacker Wilfong, County Clerk, to allow change in payroll procedure. Paychecks distributed via direct deposit, via personal pickup in payroll office, or via mail pursuant to written request. And this is based on, a couple weeks ago when Debbie came in and was concerned about mailing the paychecks, and that if they were late, and I'm not sure how many days late they'd have to be, but we'd have to pay 3 times the salary or the paycheck amount.
Correct.
So-
So this would be, she, I believe, is asking for a new procedure where all new employees will still be required to go direct deposit, but any employees that still receive an actual payroll check, which I believe is about 5 employees right now,
Right.
would either be able to pick those checks up in the bookkeeper's office on Friday, or if they submit a written request, they will be mailed to their house.
I think they can also have, by written request, have another party pick up the check, such as a spouse or someone like that.
Well, she didn't put that in here, so.
I believe from the discussion we had there, I thought I recall
I
that.
didn't remember that, but,
Okay.
I mean, if you think that's something that she intended, then maybe we should,
Well, I haven't
I
spoken
mean, if
with
we're
her
going to
since,
change if we're going to change the
yeah.
policy, we want to make sure that,
we understand.
and that could be an integral part of, now, my only concern I have is the whole purpose in changing this was the concern about mailing. That was the main reason of changing it from mailing, because of the danger of if it's late, then we got to pay 3 times. So I have a little concern about one of the options being mailing it, because that was the whole reason of changing the policy to start with. So maybe we need to talk to her and ask her if what J.C. understood somewhere in her conversation, that a spouse could pick it up or some designated
Right.
person, and then explain, at least my concern, I don't know if that's a concern of you guys, but that was the emphasis, that was the reason it was brought to our attention, was the concern about mailing them. So if that's the case,
Yeah.
then I don't think that should be part of this option.
The only thing I'm not an attorney, obviously, but if someone takes affirmative action or affirmative step to have the check mailed, they are then basically, I think, giving up the right to bring action against us if the mail is delayed, because they've taken an affirmative step to receive it by mail. But
I don't know.
we can probably discuss it in more detail
Yeah.
with it.
Okay, well, I think there's a couple issues there we probably need to iron out, and then we can change the policy. Okay, we have a executed grant award, Public Library, Community Participation Grant for $5,000 for July 1, 12 through June 30, 2013, pages 13 through 19, and I'm sure you can summarize that, Megan.
Sure. This has been in the agenda a number of times before, and this is just the confirmation that we've actually received the grant. They've signed the grant, so this is the sort of culmination. So the library has received the grant for $5,000, and we have it included here to make sure that that is in the minutes for perpetuity.
Okay, so that's just for our notification and education. And next item is notification of audit report from Upshur Buchanan Health for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2011 from the State Office of State Auditor. That's a copy for our viewing pleasure, which they're as a recipient, you are required to notify all members of the governing body and receive this report. So that's for your viewing pleasure. We have our building permits, our monthly dog warden report, monthly animal control facility report, communications center reports. So we've got a half an hour till our next scheduled meeting. Is there anything else, Megan, that you have that bring their attention, or gentlemen? Okay, if not, I'm sure we probably have some bills that we can start working on.
Quite a few.
Okay, all right, well then, we will wait till our 10 o'clock appointment. Okay, it's 10 o'clock and we have Doug Pauling, Harbinger Developments, request letter of support for federal housing tax credits. So if you'd like to step up to the podium and tell us what your plans are.
Yes, sir. My name is Doug Polly. I'm a developer out of Charleston, West Virginia. I have with me Paul Hudson, who works in development. What I'm here today is requesting your support of a proposed 40-unit elderly development. This is to be located near the refractory plant. I think a local gentleman owns the property, and we came to an agreement on a price. What we plan to propose to build is a 3-story building for the elderly, and there'll be 21 bedrooms, 22 bedrooms. This will be an elevated structure. It'll be sprinkled. It'll have security. We will have 1.5 all-street parking for every unit that we have. We'll have a gazebo. These will be fully equipped. And even a new thing we're putting in is washer and dryers for the elderly in their actual unit. Very nice units. This is what's called affordable housing. There's a lot of difference between affordable and low-income housing. I financed many years ago Buchanan Manor, which is elderly, low-income housing, and this is affordable housing. People who live there must make 50 or 60% of the median income. And for an example, 60% of the median income for one person is $22,000. If there would be two people, it'd be $25,000 to be able to live there. And they must have rent payability, as there is no federal subsidies attached to this deal. I have done quite a few elderly across the state. They're self-contained in that we have a community room, a very large community room. We have a religious room. We have a crafts room. And we even bring in outside resources, such as we'll bring in an optometrist, we'll bring in a nurse that'll do physicals, and we try and make it a real community. Something else that I wanted to speak to as somebody, I think about 2 years ago, I got some really bad publicity in Charleston. There was a federal investigation on a land deal in Mason County. We haven't heard anything for 2 years, and I was classified as a witness by the U.S. Attorney's Office. I was not the target. I wasn't even a peripheral part of the target. And I wanted to clarify that. I am doing business with the federal government. I'm doing business with West Virginia Housing. I'd be glad, Ben Bailey is my attorney out of Charleston. I'd be glad to have him to write a letter to you to explain the situation, because I know that it does come up from time to time. And I hope that you would not hold that against me, as I was a witness. I also brought a few pictures. These are pictures of exactly what we planned, or what we planned for that piece of property that Mr. Ross owns. Would you care to see the pictures?
Yes, please.
This is one in Dunbar, but it's in the same shape. On the local level, I developed a place over, it's called Quarry Glen. It is a family development as opposed to elderly, but it's over near the behind the Masonic Cemetery that I developed. It's a very nice looking family, but this is a little different. It's elderly. 62 or older or disabled is all who can live here.
This is typical floor plan.
Yeah.
You say it'll be, how many stories will it be? 2 or 3?
3 stories.
3-story with elevators, no doubt.
Elevators, it'll be, of course, a sprinkler system.
Right.
And of course, we'll have 3 fire stairwells in it.
Right.
We'll have an on-site manager. Usually in an area they work about 3 days a week, who's actually, we have an office. And of course, we'll have our own maintenance man for that development.
That'd be presumably be similar to this Alabella Villa?
Yeah, that one's in Dunbar, West Virginia.
Right.
About 2 years ago, I finished one in Chinston, elderly, that is almost a clone of that one.
Okay.
This proposal will be submitted to West Virginia Housing Development Fund, and it will be competitively rated. I know from the media that there's been another developer that's in your area looking for a family and elderly development. We will both compete for the same set aside. And it's a very stringent competition where they weed out and decide on many different factors which is the best proposal. So I will be competing against whoever came in with these proposals. It could be he could get both of them, or he may get the family and I could get the elderly. It's based on a very stringent point system.
But the state ultimately makes a decision of who gets the money.
West Virginia Housing, they administer a federal tax program, tax credit program, and they are the ones that, through this stringent competition, that they will decide who gets what. And that's all across the state. Other communities, there's developers in other communities. I mean, Buckhannon to me is a perfect place for a small elderly development.
Now, is it critical or totally necessary that the county commission supports the project, or you can't apply for it, or how does that work? Because
Well, under the current point system, if you get local approval, you get 30 points.
okay,
Why, if you win, it's usually about 5 or 10 points. So basically, if you don't approve it, I probably couldn't compete with the guy from Ojai.
right.
Because he would get to 30 possibly, and I wouldn't get it, and it puts me out of competition.
Okay. Any questions, gentlemen? I would think that we would need a letter, as you recommended, that you could send, and you know, clarifying the issue that you brought up.
Right.
Then we can make a decision, you know, but we would need that letter. You can get with Mrs. Pomeroy, or Miss Pomeroy, and get, you know, the address and how you could get it to us.
Okay.
You gentlemen have any other questions?
I was going to make the same recommendation.
I think that'd be
Take it under
the starting
advisement.
point, so we can clear up that matter to start with.
Okay.
So, if you have anything else, now's the time to.
I think that's it.
Okay, all right, well, we appreciate you coming in, and I think it's definitely something that, I'm just kind of curious, it seems like this year there's been more proposals for, I mean, this would be the third one we've had, and I think, I'm not sure if we've had any in the past, maybe we had one, but it seems like this year, is there more money, or I'm just curious what the reason that there's so many people are looking at doing that this year, tax credits.
It's all done on a very stringent point system, and Upshur County this year rates high in points.
Is it because of the census? Is that what?
They
That's
base
part of it.
They
Part of
base
it.
the census, substandard rental housing, median incomes. They come up with points for each county based on about 5 different criteria.
Okay,
And they rate the counties. Of course, you have the market, you have the points, so that's what
Right.
attracted me to Buchanan. Plus, it's a nice community.
right.
I've been through here a lot.
Growth is.
Growth is an important part.
Obviously, you're
Right.
experiencing growth.
Right.
Some of our communities over the last 20 years haven't experienced growth. But this,
Right.
I think, is a good place for an elderly, and it has enough points that it drew us here.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Doesn't matter where you're at or where you want to go, if you don't score enough points, it's very competitive.
Right,
If you don't score enough points, then you're not going to get the tax credits and you can't do the development.
right.
I've been doing this for about 24 years. I'll do a good job.
Okay, well, thanks for coming. If you
Thanks.
get us
Thank
that
you.
letter, then we'll take a look at things.
It's called a website.
Okay, our next appointment's at 1 o'clock, so we'll continue the paperwork until then.